Let's get onto the phone lines now. We're joined by somebody who's at Accra Academy to tell us more about what happened yesterday on campus.
Hello, sir. Thank you for speaking to us.
You're welcome, Gudu. So, good morning to you and your panel.
So, what exactly happened? I mean, they switched off your power. Why?
Yes, as you have been informed, is exactly what happened. We have been disconnected, all in the name that we are owing. And if we are owing, we don't know how much we are owing. And even if we are aware of how much we are owing, we are not the ones who are supposed to pay. And you come to the school for us to go through this problem.
So, you're not the ones to make the payments. The payments go from, where is it, the district authority? Who makes the payments?
I believe, Kojo, this one is very known to you. Those who are supposed to pay this kind of electricity. As teachers in the institution, we pay our own electricity. Every teacher occupying a bungalow or any flat or any apartment anywhere pays his or her own electricity. And the unfortunate thing is that we are on prepaid, and all teachers, everybody has been disconnected. Should that be the case?
Hold on a minute. You are on prepaid, so which means you have paid. How come then have you been disconnected?
As a staff, I have paid.
So why have you been disconnected?
Of all the bills that I have paid so far. And to any other teacher, I can get you that one. That everybody on campus, I mean, the entire Accra academic community has been disconnected.
No, I mean, let me understand something. Is the school also on prepaid?
The school is not on prepaid. That one is supposed to be paid by a big man. Yes.
When you say paid by a big man, is to be paid?
So that from time to time they do it. And they've never come to our school to demand anything from us. Only to see somebody coming here yesterday to tell us that he is coming from the headquarters and he has been given orders to disconnect the school because the school owes.
Hold on a minute, just by way of clarification. So the school is on postpaid and you know the school owes. Does the school owe ECG?
I will not dispute that fact. But as I'm sitting here, I don't know how much we owe because we are not the ones who are supposed to do that.
That is understood. Now, you have also been disconnected. You say you have prepaid.
Yes.
So, why have you been disconnected? Is it that you're prepaid? I mean, your credit got finished and your lights went off? Or
okay, you let's take it that I am the only person in the school who is using the prepaid, and I had a problem with my connections. What about the others? All the other bungalows have been disconnected.
And have you reached out to ECG to find out why the bungalows on campus have been disconnected?
If you can get to the Aveno office. Yesterday, some of my colleagues were there to speak to them, and they didn't give them any positive response.
Right. So, what communication has the school had with the GES to find out why these bills haven't been paid?
No, we are now putting things together, and we need to inform our superior officers of what is happening, so that they will take it out from there. Because we cannot. Even somebody suggested that the teachers, we can take them, we sue them, go to court. But we are under somebody. We cannot just get up and then go to court because you have been disconnected.
My understanding of the process is that the ministries release money to the schools to make these payments.
It is not like that. We have schools that are on prepaid. So that one, the school pays and then submit their receipt for return. But those who are on postpaid, it is done directly.
Right. Okay, so you are yet to inform the GES that your lights were turned off yesterday in the morning.
Exactly.
Hasn't too much time passed? Should you not have informed them
in the night
immediately?
And this is in the morning that we have gone to the office, and even the electricity to type whatever we need to communicate is a problem.
Now, has this? You say this has never happened before?
Since I came to Accra Academy, I've never seen it. This is the first time.
How are the students coping?
We only have to talk to them, and they are boys. We only have to talk to them and explain to them the situation so that they all calm down.
What are they doing in the meantime? Because they need electricity for so many things, for ironing, for studying at night, how are they coping without it? What are they doing instead?
It is not only at night that they need electricity. As they are in class now, you come and then look at all the observe the room, the heat, and then how the whole thing looks like. They need fans in the rooms, but now we don't have.
All right. So the plan is to go and speak to the GES and report this matter to them. That's going to happen when? This morning?
That is what we have to do. Officially, that is what we need to do.
This morning? When are you going to do this?
Oh, that is what I'm saying. We need to get power to type whatever we need to type. And then we have to, if we wait and they are not coming out, then we have to move out of campus and do it. We will do that. And then send our business.
So did you say you are waiting to see if the lights will come on before you communicate with GES?
And I'm saying that the letters that we have to prepare, because we don't have power to do that this morning. So when we wait for a while and we don't see any positive sign, then we need to move out of the school and we get a letter type and send to our big men.
All right. Well, I want to bring in External Communications Manager of ECG, Laila Abubakar, to help us understand how the processes work from their end of things. Laila, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Now, we know that ECG has become more aggressive in recent times in ensuring that those who don't pay their bills get disconnected. They've been lauded for this. But now we have teachers claiming that they are on prepaid meters and they have also been switched off at Accra. What happened there?
So I got this information last night. Now the way ECG works is that we have different factions and we have a national revenue mobilization team. So they have a different docket they work with. They have different instructions and they work with very difficult areas, high consuming or high debtors. The National Task Force yesterday were working in the Accra West area, and so they had a number of defaulters, and Accra Academy was part of it. So as to which meters were disconnected, I cannot confirm now, but I know that the whole school was disconnected.
Right.
And so if someone is on prepaid and they were disconnected, it doesn't make sense to me at the moment. It's only those who are on postpaid who are owing who were disconnected. So that prepaid allegation has to be investigated further, because if you're using prepaid, it means you're buying your electricity before consuming it. You're paying for it before consuming. And so there wouldn't be any logical reason removing you from the grid.
Yeah, so you say it needs to be investigated. Who's going to do that and when?
Oh, that would be, now that it's come to my attention, I'll just have to ask the National Task Force how true that is. I have spoken to the leader of the National Task Force, and he said that he disconnected the school. He did not say, I disconnected someone from prepaid and postpaid, because they are all, he suggested to me that the whole school was on postpayment.
Right. Now, how much do they owe?
Well, as of yesterday, the dockets they held and sent there show that they owe over 480,000 cedis.
Almost 500,000 Ghana cedis.
Yes.
Over what period have they accumulated this debt?
Since June 2020.
Can you turn off the radio, please, just so we can hear
Now,
you?
the thing is that ECG...
You said
has
since
the
when?
in the schools and sent...
Hello, Laila, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, you said since when?
June 2023, they haven't made any payment.
Okay, please continue.
Now, the meters are situated in the schools. ECG's mandate is to bill the school. So we send the bill to the school. I've heard arguments about why we are not looking for the people who pay on behalf of the schools. For us, in our docket, it is the school that owes, and so we bill the school. It is the school's responsibility to deal with whoever pays on their behalf. That is if they are not the ones paying. So we sent the bill to them. When they make a payment, it shows that Accra Academy has paid or not paid. And so the person we're dealing with, and if there's going to be any legal matter, the person we are going to be dealing with, first and primary, would be the school. That is why we went to disconnect the school. And we've been disconnecting these schools, disconnecting other government agencies. I mean, like you said, since last year, we've been quite aggressive about that. So it's not something that is out of the blue.
Right. Now, I made to understand that there was an initiative to meter bungalows separately from student administration and other relevant public facilities in our schools. Is this an exercise that ECG has been involved in the past?
Yes, a lot of the schools are separately metered. Some of the facilities or some of the facilities in the school are metered separately from where the residences are. Some of them are with one bulk meter. Some of them have both prepaid and postpaid. Some of them are all prepaid. Some of them are all postpaid. Depends on the school, the location, the circumstance, the instance, and history we've had with the school. You know, sometimes some of these schools develop in phases. So they are metered separately and at different times. So if at a time where a certain facility was developed, the meters that were available were post-payment meters, we use those ones. If there were prepayment meters that were available, we use those ones. And if it was a bulk at that time, depending on the size of the school, because some schools are enormous. So if we have to use a bulk metering system, then we would do that as well.
Right. Now, Lila, you mentioned that you had been briefed by the individual, the enforcement officer who switched off the power at Accra Academy. Would this officer not be aware that many of your schools have been put onto this new separate system where the bungalows are all on prepaid, separate from the rest of the facilities? Would he not be aware of this?
That's why it's a bit strange to me that someone would be disconnected if it's a prepayment meter. It's a little bit absurd to me. I think there's an explanation that we both do not have at the moment. So if you'd allow me to find out more information, because if someone has paid for the service before consuming the power, we have no right to remove them. Unless there's an illegality somewhere, or if we suspect something to which we have evidence that maybe there's something that isn't right with the meter. Aside from that, we don't have any right to remove someone from them.
So the debt stands at almost 500,000 Ghana cedis.
Yes, please.
What will it take for them to be reconnected?
If I stand on previous orders, it would have to do with a commitment of about 50% payment before they are reconnected. Otherwise, someone has to guarantee for them.
Either 50% payment or a guarantee from someone.
Yes, what that payment will be made in the shortest possible time.
What sort of someone would qualify?
Well, I cannot say. Maybe someone who has more money. Maybe someone who has more money, because the problem ECG finds itself in is consistent debt, and every month our debt profile is different. So we have to be more aggressive because we have bills to pay, as you know. We have issues, so we have to be less compassionate. Unfortunately,
right.
That's it.
Well, I want to thank you for your time, Lila Abubakar, External Communications Manager, ECG. And also big thanks to the person we spoke to who works on Accra Academy campus. We thank you both for your time. Well,
does this make sense? I mean, at some point, we should understand some of these things. For a very long time, there are complaints about schools and electricity. And this is not the first time we have a school having a difficulty like that. Somebody's responsibility is to either pay or send the money to the school to pay the electricity. Now, I want to believe that this prepaid thing is even an isolated incident that can be clarified. After that one, we are convinced that's been paid. But at the core of this problem is that we are pretending we are dealing with all of the problems in our various schools, but we are not doing that. Once in a while, it crops up. I mean, and then today it's Accra Academy. Then tomorrow it will be some school in the central region. That you and I were sitting here proposing how schools can perhaps permanently fix the problem with alternatives like solar and the other things. And we also propose that this should be taken up by all students and other very good groups. Not long after that, I think is it there? This other
yes, at the Saturday 99.
Yes, we're in the studio, and I was very pleased. How much? It was about 2
million or so.
Yes, about 3 or so million that they had raised to add other units to their original plan to be able to get it done. Even if government is minded, and that 3 million will be the initial investment to do this, how much would that be for resolving your electricity problems? And think about it on the other side. How much are they owing? 500,000, right? Yeah. So the presumption is that basically every year or two, you have a 500,000 problem on your hands in one school. So if you have solar, let's even add the maintenance part, which is costing 3 million for a pretty longer period. Is that not a more feasible plan to pursue or look at going into the future? And I'm saying, even if the old students are not willing to take this up, it will make sense that government actually looks for alternatives so that this ECG conversation does not come up again. But there was a long time ago, we agreed that as for health and education institutions, some of these things, they should be exempted from it. And that agreement was sensible and it had basis. Except that, of course, I agree, it was abused also by people living in these campuses and actually piling that debt and not dealing with it.
You see, it depends on the circumstances. I get it. With the health facilities, I mean, at the time when someone is on a surgical table, that's not the time to ask questions about, who hasn't paid the bill and why, and where's the budget and all of that. But for educational institutions, I beg to differ. You know what? I should have asked Lila how many other schools are in line to be shut down, taken off the grid because they owe. Because you see, the gentleman at Accra explains to us that they at the school have no way of knowing whether their bills are being paid or not when they are on a postpaid system, because someone else pays the bills. They just get up and go to work, do their jobs, hoping that someone else is also doing his or her job and paying the bills. Now, GES submits a budget for running schools, and that budget accounts for electricity. It accounts for utilities, anything that they have to pay for. It's all accounted for in that budget. So what is it? Is it that the Ministry of Finance doesn't give them money to pay electricity bills? Or do they get the money and use it for other things? Because if since July last year until now, they haven't paid a single bill, a single light bill for Accra, where's the money? Where's the money? And how many other schools are in the same situation? I doubt that they've singled out Accra for special neglect.
Yeah, of course.
I suspect that there are many other schools who might soon be having a rude awakening. Who is even checking these things?
Well, so the thing, I mean, Lila makes the point that not only Accra, and that they've disconnected other schools. For schools that are on prepaid, a lot of them sometimes are in darkness. Some of them you'd find them, they're in darkness. They're in darkness also because sometimes the monies are not released. And you heard the headmaster of Fansman pleading you know, during the speech and prize giving day, because I mean, he says the amount we've spent on prepaid is 204,000. We have been giving about 85,000 or 89,000, leaving a balance of 115,000.
Less than half.
Yes, you've been given
according
less
to
than
the
half of that
ECG
money.
structure.
No.
Unless somebody intervenes.
And they actually
Theirs
on,
is even a prepaid
they're actually
system.
on a prepaid system, so they have to pay in advance, and that's what the challenge is. So what would happen is that they would have to spend more, and so if nobody comes to their aid, but this is it. We live in a country where today the government says it is better, and you see, let me just share with you, for instance, Raymond, hold on a minute. Let me share with you the emissions levy, what it covers. Okay, I want us to do some very important analysis here. So the emissions levy. I want to just share with you emissions levy. Yes, in Ghana, I want to share what it covers, and I'll tell you why it is important and in Ghana's own interest to actually begin moving all these institutions
to solar.
Okay, because even when it comes to other industries and the other emissions, it's not just, you know, your vehicles alone that would pay these monies. Others would also get to pay. So you ask yourself the simple question: why can't we, as a country, why can't the government, for instance, help these schools? Okay, so let me just share this with you. This is from the Ghana Revenue Authority's own website. It says the Emissions Levy Act 2023 has been passed to impose an emissions levy on carbon dioxide equivalent emissions from specified sectors and internal combustion engine vehicle emissions. The table below provides the rates. 1. Construction sector, 100 Ghana cedis per ton of emissions per month. Okay. 2. Manufacturing sector, same. Then you go to the mining sector, oil sector, and electricity and heating sector. Listen to this. Electricity and heating sector, 100 per ton of emissions per month. Now, this is my point. If a Decidor College spent between 2 to 3 million to install a solar system, let's say 5 million for purposes of analysis. If Accra Academy between June to February owes 480,000, almost 500,000. If a decision is taken today to actually put Accra on solar, what it would mean is that, and if the solar costs say 5 million or even more, it means we do not have to go back, going to pay electricity here and there, and being found wanting. Is this something that we cannot do? Look, we all admit that we have to play a role in the development of this country. It is that reason that today, because of sometimes the failures of government to do some of the things that they promised doing, old student associations, today is a competition. Year groups are taking on projects. They call it legacy projects. I know that Holy Child also did some, solar whatever some time ago. And year groups are, taking over and doing these things. Can't governments now, based on their priorities, indicate that this is what we want to do in schools?
So support us.
So support us. It's as simple.
Yeah.
This is what we want to do in the schools. And we call on the Old Student Association to support us. This should not be difficult for any government. You see, what actually saddens me in this country is that even when it is obvious that we cannot do something, for political reasons, we just do not want to say the truth.
Yeah.
Even when it is obvious that we do not have enough money to run the kind of free education that we want to run, we pretend we are okay and then we want to run it.
And we even conceive of ways to add other expenditure items to it.
Yes.
When everybody in that particular value chain knows that there are bigger problems that ought to be dealt with, we should be. And this education, if it affects the quality we are supposed to be delivering on the ground, it affects the future of our people. And affects the kind of system that we put it together. It affects the nation entirely coming into the future. So it makes sense that we do not play around some of these things and agree. So I'm expecting today the GES and the Ministry of Education will swoop in quickly, not only to Accra Academy. have a conversation with the ECG, because when we leave it to Accra Academy, they will come back to the same conversation that the matter will be resolved, and they are expecting the money to be sent to them. Accra Academy is not expected to use IGF for this, so that we could be blaming them today for failing to do the payment. I hope you get my point. So the only grouping that can resolve this matter is the Ministry of Education, Duchuma and his people, versus the ECG. They should do something to prevent young people who have been taken out of their homes and put in schools from suffering untold hardship, merely because we are refusing to do what's expected of us. And merely because we are failing to do the things that ordinarily should not even happen. Because if you struggle with feeding, if you struggle providing power, energy for them to study, it only means that whatever you do, all your studies and actions must happen during daylight.
Look, I just got information from a source at ECG that Accra Technical Training Center, ATTC, was disconnected of power supply for non-payment of bills. The school stayed in darkness for over 2 months.
Huh?
The bill was paid and supplied was restored just about 2 weeks ago.
My goodness.
Listen to this. And so this is a technical training institute.
Hey.
Okay, technical training center. They need electricity to run a lot of things.
For
like they do in the schools.
everything. They build cars there. They do all kinds of things.
However, they were owing. The government and its agencies did not pay.
For
and we
2
are
months.
And you see, for me, this is the thing. I like to talk about solutions, but I like to say this. So today, what sense does it make that the priority of our educational sector players is the provision of laptops, tablets? What sense does it make that our priority today is to supply laptops to students? I mean, what sense does it make today when parent associations are constantly having to contribute money to buy prepaid for schools? Why can't we? And the question is this: what do you want them to use the laptops for? You see, we are digitalizing everything, and so today they have access to textbooks and all of that. It will be on their tablets, and that'll be the end of it. Okay, hold on a minute. Let's do the math. I mean, I like to work the figures. Is it better printing books for them or buying them tablets? Let's look at it and then find out how much it would cost, for instance, if we paid printers to print books for them, and how much it would cost. Not only are we, so if we buy them these tablets, they're going to be charging the tablets. Okay, if they're charging the tablets, how much would that cost us in electricity bills and all of that?
Which you are not paying.
And which you're not paying. And internet connectivity, how much is that going to cost us and all of that? We won't do anything. For us, it's always nice. We're going to pay this, we're going to pay that, and that's the end of it. It's business as usual. I've just been told by my friend, DJ Kobner, who was here when the Santa 99 group came for that interview. He's just told me that for them, it cost them 2 million Ghana cedis for the solar.
Okay.
And an additional 1 million Ghana cedis for maintenance and the organization of the speech and prize giving day.
Okay,
and I decided it's such a big school. So,
yes.
And it says that will save them 70 to 80% of electricity consumption. So let's say that even if you want to do that, so 70 to 80%. So if you want to do it in total, you're looking about 2.5 million. Why? Why can't government then say we want to do this and save all of us the stress of having to go through this problem all the time?
Government does it will cost 10 million per school. That's the first problem. You know what? Let's be real.
And this should not be extended to tomorrow, Kojo. I mean, we like having these conversations, but this should not be extended to tomorrow. This is something you can fix today by those two institutions discussing how the money can be transferred. It's as simple as that.
Look, I think it is the height of Kotobunkuism and Paintotoitude to be a government that collects tax from everybody but doesn't pay its own bills. But it's not my opinion that matters. It's yours. So call us 0302 216 541 055 1111 997. We want to hear from you on this issue. The lights are being switched off. Kids are sleeping on the floor. And government wants to provide them with tablets. Meanwhile, they can't pay the light bills.